Hello there, it's Donna from Taffy Crafting. This is my third attempt at doing this video. It's just absolutely all going on in this house. I've got my son decorating his rooms, he's moving back in. We've moved one daughter out and the other daughter has moved into her sister's room. And quite frankly, I'm just leaving them get on with it. And I've come into the craft room and I've got a hexagonal box for today's project. I haven't done one of these in ages. So I thought I'd try one for today. I've got some lovely bright pink cardstock, and I've combined that with the Follow Your Art DSP. I've used the Tailor Tag punch, and then I've got a little bit of bling behind that. So what I want to do is something really quite different for the next one. So I've got something lovely, bright and pretty there. I'll show you what I've got in it. You'll see we don't need anything to hold it down. It just folds like that. And then I've got just a mini body spray. So I think my daughter has bought a pack of these for Christmas. So I've nicked them because they were in a very nice tin. So I've nicked the tin and nicked one of those. And then I'm just going to show you how to make that. And you can adapt this to whatever size of gift that you've got. As long as your cardstock will fit it, then you can make it to any size. So let me show you how I'm going to make that. So if you ever get your hands on one of these, these will be the ideal sizes for you, but all you need to do is maybe think about the height of it. I've used just an inch space in order to form this, and then I've got an inch bottom as well on that. So you might just want to fiddle about with the measurements. I have created a blog post for this project, and I've left the link for that in the description bar, and all of the details of products and dimensions you'll find in there. So let's get going and I'll show you what I've got. I'm using the Pretty Peacock DSP, so I'm going for something really in complete contrast to this. The Pretty Peacock Pretty Peacock card, and I'm also using the Best Dressed DSP. Let me just show you this Best Dressed DSP. We have flowers, which are just beautiful. So many colourways with this. I've got some handbags as well. We've got some lovely stripes, but then we've also got this makeup theme with some more stripes, perfume bottles, more perfume bottles, some diagonal stripes, some polka dots, some shoes. I don't know many women that don't like shoes. More shoes, lipsticks, some more flowers, and then we've got these makeup brushes and palettes, and that's what I'm using for today's card. These already come in 6x6, which is so handy when you're making smaller projects and for making cards. Also with that, because I've chosen, let me show you a bigger piece of that, because I've chosen this, there is also a stripe that goes with this. So in the same paper stack, we've got this lovely striped paper, and I'm going to use that as a background on my card because it's got, that's the great thing about Stampin' Up, all of their colourways just match. So it's got Pretty Peacock in there, but it's also got some lovely purple, so that's Purple Posy, and there's some green in there. That looks like Old Olive. It might not be, but that does look like Old Olive to me. So I'm going to use that as a background to this, and then I've got some white in there. I do like to get some white in my projects because then that's easy to stamp on. So I've got the sheet of this, it's got handbags on the back, so I've got a sheet of this that I've cut up, and then one of those as well. And the very last thing is we're going to get a little bit of glimmer, and then I've got this Pretty Peacock foil. I'll leave the links in my blog post. So we've got that. We only need a little bit of that. So without further ado, I've got a piece of cardstock. This measures 6.5 inches by 6 inches, and we're going to score that in a moment. And then I've got 6 pieces each of the stripe, and I've got 6 pieces each of the brushes and palettes. I just realised I'm out of shot there. So 6 pieces of that and 6 pieces of that. And what I'm going to do is just put them on there. So you can't really see that they're stripes, but I just like the fact there's lots of different colours on there. So each of the stripes measures, let me just get this right, 3 7/8 by 7/8 of an inch. And then the brushes and palettes, that is 3/4 of an inch by 3 3/4 of an inch. But say all of the dimensions will be on my blog. So the first thing I need to do is get these onto there. So what I'm going to do is just get a bit of reduction line going here. So I'm going to put some glue onto these and then just stick those on there like that. So I'm just going to use wet glue for that. You could use snail, you could use tear and tape if you want to, but we've got some detailed manoeuvring going on here. So I'm going to do this nice and quick. You would obviously take your time over it and make sure that it is absolutely right. But while I'm doing this, I can tell you about Celebration. I can tell you that our mini catalogue went live on the 3rd of January, and it is a stunning catalogue, lots of really different things in there. We've got lots of lovely romantic DSPs and products. We've got really bold, we've got the poppies, we've got hearts, we've got a Parisian feel. That's a really lovely suite that we've got going on there. There's the birthday bonanza, which has got your koalas and toucans and lions. There are some beautiful stamp sets that can appeal to anybody. So what anybody's taste is, there is a stamp set to appeal to that. Remember that for every £45 that you spend, you earn a level 1 Celebration reward. And then for every £90 that you spend, you gain a level 2 reward, and you can spend those rewards in the Celebration catalogue. I've left a link to my shop in the description bar, and you can see all of the different links on there for the different types of products, for the Celebration rewards, for different suites that are available, different papers. There's a clearance rack, so plenty for you to be having a look at. But the products that I'm using here, those links will be in my blog post. And then the last thing, just while I'm putting this last one on, is the joining offer. So for £99 you can choose up to £130 of goods in either the mini catalogue or the main annual catalogue, or a mixture of the two. And so you choose £130 worth. You then get a mini trimmer for free, you get a paper stack for free, and you get a stamp set of your choice. All of that delivered to your door for £99, and you'll receive that within about a week. So you can come and join my team. We have some absolutely lovely ladies on our team, and come and join in our community. We've got a team retreat being organised very soon. I've been organising that. So being part of a team automatically gives you the opportunity to come along to our team retreat at the end of March. So if you want some more details of that, just drop me an email to taffycrafting@gmail.com and I can tell you more about that. So 6 of those, we're going to put them to one side just while they're drying off. We don't need them just yet. But we need our 6.5 by 6 card, and I need my scoreboard, which I've got just under my desk. Beast of a thing, this scoreboard, it's huge. Just make sure I've got that in shot so you can see that. Yeah, so I'm going to score this on the long side at 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches and 6 inches. You're going to make a small mark at 1/2 inch, 1.5 inches, 2.5 inches, 3.5 inches, 4.5 inches and 5.5 inches. You're then going to turn this that way. This is the top, okay, so where you've put those marks, that's your top, but our bottom is the same as my top, if that makes any sense. If your measurements are different from the top and the bottom, then you need to make sure that you treat this as the top. I've just seen a funny score line going on just here. My 5-inch score line has gone a bit wonky for some reason, not concentrating. So luckily that's going to get covered up with some DSP. So the next thing that we're going to do is I'm going to retrieve my bone folder, which I left at the other side of the room. I'd put it away. For once I actually have a tidy craft desk, and I'm just going to fold and burnish all of these score lines here. Nice crisp score lines needed for this project. So let's find my little, these are my little marks that I made at the top, and to do that I need to grab a ruler. Oh, that's my scoreboard I just knocked over. Thank you. Now there's your 1/2 inch tab at the side. So we've got a mark here, and then we've got this corner here. So you are going to draw a score line from where these two lines meet up to that mark that you made, like that. And you're going to do that right across your card. So come along to the next corner, find the little mark that you made, and then join those two. And you'll do that all the way across like that. And then the last one there. Okay, and then we are going to fold and burnish these. This is where it gets a little bit tricky. So what I do is I start this side. So this is the inside of my box. So starting here, I'm going to just fold that little score line inwards, and then I take my bone folder and just from that corner to that corner, just give it a little burnish. Then go to the next one, fold it inwards, and then just burnish that bit there. Go to the next one, fold it in and burnish. Go to the next one, get the drift now, don't you? Burnish. Go to the next one, starts to get fiddly, fold it in and burnish. And be really careful with your card, because it's very easy for your card to look battered. So just take it nice and easy and nice and gently. So we've got those going on. Now we need to just do a little bit of cutting. Now I need to get my scissors. So this is the bottom. We're going to create some flaps. So I'm just going to cut up each of these score lines to the first score line. That's where my wibbly wobbly line went. And then we'll take that off just up to that one. Now this little bit here, we're going to get rid of that, and I'm going to cut diagonally into it, like that. And then at the top, then we're just going to cut diagonally from just perhaps 1/2 centimetre down up to that first score line. And what this bit does is form the tab that it all holds it together. So now this is the inside, we need to go on to the outside, and we're now going to decorate it. So all of these are now going to go on here. So some more glue. I'm going to make sure with this actually that all of my makeup brushes are facing upwards. Now another reason that I chose the makeup brushes, another big passion in my life that not everybody knows of, is makeup. I love makeup. My 2 daughters love makeup, and I follow quite a few famous makeup artists on YouTube. I mean, they're all incredibly young and I am incredibly not, but I just love some of the effects that they make with makeup. And the thing that I'm really blown away by is the amount of men using makeup and the effects that they make, it's just amazing. So yeah, so this is another thing close to something that's very important in our household, certainly with having 2 daughters. Even though one's moved out, she is still as mad about makeup, and we share things that we might have seen online or special offers that we see. So one of the reasons why I really, really love this DSP. And you know, the thing that I'm finding now is that makeup is not necessarily girly. So just get our last couple on there now, and then we can start putting this together. Now, because I've used wet glue, I just want to give that a second just to dry off a little bit, because we're going to start putting this together, and where this is still a little bit wet, I don't want to run the risk of these getting together. So I'm going to just pause this video just for a second and just let those dry off. So the next thing I want to do is now start putting all of this together. So I'm going to get some tear and tape, and I'm going to run that alongside that tab. So let's get my tear and tape out. Oh, it's got some glitter on it, let's get rid of that. It's red glitter as well, which would completely clash with what I've got here. Okay. So I'm just going to run this just along there, like that, as close to the score line as you can get it, because the closer you can get it, it just ends up making the whole project look seam free. You can't actually see that seam if you can get that nice and close. So I'm going to just unpick, I'm going to show you my little tool that I've got here that I use to take the backing off my tear and tape. I use tear and tape a lot, and I got the take your pick tool, and it's got this little pointy bit on it, and I can just get that. Do you know what, it doesn't want to play ball now, does it? Get that under there, nice and quick and easy. So I want to attach this. I want to attach this bit to this bit, so I'm going to turn this over, just fold that one of those in, bring this over, and then I'm going to match this score line. I'm going to match the raw edge with the fold, and I'm going to match those 2 score lines and try and get all of those to happen in just one swift movement. And inside my head I'm going, please work. So almost there. Almost there. Oh, I've just missed a bit. Right, I didn't put any glue right up to the edge there. So I'm going to have to put some wet glue. Oh, heck, sorry about that. That's me not thinking. So I'm just going to get some wet glue in there and just hold that down, because the whole thing won't go together if I don't put some glue there. So that's just smooshing a little bit, and I'm just going to hold that there for 1 minute just while that dries. Okay, so I now need to work on the top of this. Now before we do that, I'm not going to stick these down, but I'm just going to just fold those in so that we can work on this. So hopefully now you can see the top of that. And we just need this to fold in and close, and it tends to just do it on its own, but the first time needs a little bit of just needs coaxing, because everything's been folded the right way. So there was a quick break in the video there because I just had to take this off and have a little word with it. Everything was in there properly. I just don't know why it just did not want to go together, but it does. I haven't done anything or changed anything there. I just had just a few very stern words with it. I've just pushed it in and all of those score lines fold in. I think it was something to do with the seam. It just wasn't quite folded right up to the corner. And I was getting a little bit stressed there because it wasn't working. So there's the top of that box. So I'm just going to leave that there for a second while I'm now ready to put together the top, put together the bottom. So this is where it starts to get a bit tricky. So we've got 6 flaps and we're going to do 2, 2 and 2. But we have to do 2 at a time. So I'm going to do these 2 first and I'm going to use tear and tape for this. For me, this has worked better. I've tried it with wet glue, it doesn't work because I've got no patience. Snail would probably work or some sort of instant adhesive. So I'm just going to do these middle 2 first. This is where you are now going to see me wrestle with this. The end product though is so worth it. So I'm going to fold that in because we've got to keep its shape. And that will then match like that. Those 2 edges will match. So I'm just going to press that down there and then I'm going to try and get my fingers inside and press it and get that down quickly. Now you're not going to be able to do that with the others, but once you've got the shape, then it all starts to work. So now I'm going to do these 2. So what we need to do is we're trying to keep the shape, and I will do wet glue. Now I've got the shape together. So I'm going to fold this one in. Bit of glue on there. And then fold the opposite one in. And then make sure it then keeps its shape. So I'm just going to hold that down for a second. Come on. And then we'll bring this one in. And I'm going to put a bit of glue on that one. This is the only tricky bit about this project. And then just keeping its shape, fold that on there. A little bit of glue coming out of there. You can, if you wanted to, create a circle using a circle punch and put a circle on the bottom of that if you wanted. And then put it back where it should be. And at this point I'm going to put my gift inside. Put that in there like that. And push it down, and all that glue then will then stick, and then we can just close the top like that. So while that's drying, I'm now going to create a little bit of decoration on here, and you can just do whatever you like with this. You could, the world's your oyster really, but I want to get out the foil. I've wanted an excuse to use this foil for a long time. So here it is. So I've got my Tailor Tag punch, and what I'm going to do is punch out 2 halves. So you can see I'm not going all the way in, just half the way in. So I need to do that twice. Like that. Get that out of the way. And the next thing I want is a little bit of white cardstock, which I've put down somewhere. I put to one side. I'll look for that in a second. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these on here like that, and then I'm going to put some white cardstock and I'm going to do something a little bit special with that. So let me just grab my white, which is over here. Let's get these on here first because they will need to dry. So I've just put some glue on there, and I'm going to put that one like that. And we want a gap between each of these halves. Like that, get that in the right position. I'm just going to move that over to one side for a minute. and I'm going to get my Tailor Tag punch. I'm going to punch that out, and I'm going to get my sponge dauber, and I'm going to get my pretty peacock ink and just dab my sponge dauber in there, and I'm just going to just dab this on the edges. I'm literally just flicking it like that. I like to do this, it just takes the harshness off of the paper. I've got a little fluffy bit. It does just take the harshness of the paper off. So the stamp set that I'm using is the Beautiful Bloom stamp set. This is a Celebration reward, so I got this for spending £45. So I'm going to use the thank you sentiment first. I know I could use a smaller ink block, but I don't have a smaller ink block. I'm going to, that's the stamp set falling on the floor. So load up the ink, line it up, and stamp that in the middle. And then I want to put some flowers on it. And we've got a few teeny tiny flowers on this. So I used the very small one. It's just still got stuck on there. I've used the very small one here, but I'm going to use this one for this project. So I've got that on my block. Just ink that up, and I'm going to put that at the top, and that one at the bottom. And there's one last thing I want to do on that, and that's get a rhinestone. So just a little one here. One there and one there. Then I'm going to put that on my box. I'm going to put some, you can see I've got completely covered, I don't know what it is with me and ink. I'm going to put this on my box. Like that. Backing off of these, and then this is the final thing that's going to go on my box. So this has been a longer than usual video, but it is a nice unusual project, something a little bit different. And I just want to line that up so it sits right in the middle and I don't get my head in shot. There we go, first time. And there we have it, a lovely pretty hexagonal box that fits one of those little tiny mini body sprays, and I think that's a really cute project for anybody really, just to maybe say thank you or happy birthday. But you can tailor make that box to whatever size you like, and maybe a little bit in the future I'll make something different or put something different in there and show you how I've changed the measurements to fit that particular product. So I hope you like it. Please give my channel and this video a thumbs up, come and subscribe, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye bye.